Welcome to Memorial Cooking Innovations. I'm Tim Scallon, registered dietitian, nutritionist, and with me today is one of our resident food experts, Chef Kyoko Nagura. Kyoko, welcome to Memorial Cooking Innovations.
Thank you for having me today, Tim.
I was just delighted when you agreed to come on the show because, you know, our viewers, they know Asian foods, but they don't necessarily know Japanese food different from Chinese food, different from Filipino, whatever. And so it's a delight to have you and to have you teach us a little bit about Japanese food.
Of course, thank you.
Well, okay, so you're Japanese. So Kyoko, what part of Japan are you from?
I'm from Yokohama, Japan.
So Yokohama, Japan, is that north, south?
It's a central part of Japan.
Central Japan, near Tokyo perhaps?
Yes.
Okay. Kyoko, tell us what we're cooking today.
Today we are cooking tofu steak with a sauteed mushroom and topped with the Daikon radish.
Ooh, okay, that sounds really exotic. Now, so with this recipe, we're introducing some very, very different ingredients to our viewers. And so
Yes.
I want to point some of those out. But we know what tofu is, but Daikon radish, you know, this
Yes.
is one that you know, when you told me about this recipe, I had to go look this up. I didn't know what a Daikon radish was. And then also, and we're going to talk about this in a minute, but
Yes.
some of these other ingredients like sake. You know, sake is not one of those wines that Americans know very well.
Right.
And so, okay, well let's get started.
Okay. All right. I'm going to start with preparing the topping with the Daikon radish.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, this one, there's so many different ways to prepare it, but we're gonna grate it and eat it fresh.
Okay.
And today, you could skin them. However, right on the skin, it's always good nutrition.
Right.
So
right under the skin. You
right,
said. Okay.
right under the skin. So
Okay.
today, I wash them really, really good, so we
Okay.
don't have to.
So you're not going to peel it then.
I'm not gonna peel it today.
Okay.
Okay, so we have this. You wanna taste a little bit?
I would. I was
Okay.
hoping you'd ask. It tastes like a radish.
Right.
It's very similar to
Right.
to the radish that we know.
It's not too strong,
it's
but
not.
it's have a little spiciness.
A little pick, but not
Yes.
much. In fact, maybe not as hot as our red
Yes.
radishes.
Yes.
I like that.
Okay. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna grate this. Okay. And I have a
You don't mind if I keep munching on this, do you?
no problem.
Okay.
Okay. And of course, it take a while, but you want a pretty good portion. Okay. Okay. So now I have a grated very finely.
that's beautiful.
I have in the net here, so
Yes.
it have excess water. I don't know you can see
Yeah.
on that. It drip down. So I'm gonna leave it just like this in the refrigerator. We're gonna use this for topping for later.
Okay. All right. Okay, so we've got our Daikon radish grated. Okay, so what's our next step?
Next step, I'm gonna show you how to prepare the tofu.
Oh, good. I'm
Okay.
glad you're going to show us that because, you know, when you get this block of tofu, you know, now I'm speaking as a non-Asian here who's not familiar with tofu.
Okay.
It kind of comes in a little bit of what I would call a whey. It's almost like a cheese with whey. It's got a real thin water on it.
Okay.
So you're going to show us how to remove that.
Yes. In this recipe now, if you using this tofu in a soup or any other reason, you don't have to do this process. However, this is tofu steak, so you wanna take off any excess water. Okay, so
You want it to be firm,
Yes.
in other words. Okay.
And,
I'm going to move this out of the way just for
okay.
a minute, just so we can see what you're
All
doing.
right.
Okay.
so I'm gonna open one package here.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. And what kind
And
of tofu? So
we today using
firm.
farm tofu.
Okay.
Okay. We have so many different texture to the tofu. You can use.
Let me hold those.
Okay.
So you've got extra firm, light firm, and firm.
If you are doing stir fry or any of the nature, you might want to use the extra farm tofu.
Extra firm. Okay.
Yes,
Because
to-
it'll hold up
yes.
to you stirring it.
And you know, you can use any type. Depends on your choice. Texture is a little bit more. The farm is a little bit coarser. So if you
Okay.
like how you like your texture of the tofu, you can pick and choose. You can try out which one you like the best.
And you know there actually are a lot of health benefits associated with tofu, and so it's worth looking up some recipes to see how we can work this in. Okay,
Yes.
so you're using firm today, not the extra
Yes.
firm. Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna open this box. Okay. And tofu, regardless it's a farm or not, it is really fragile. So
Yes.
please careful. It's gonna, it's kind of like a, in a sense, it's like a jello-like.
Yeah, yeah, it is. It is
Yes.
almost, in fact, it is a congealed food.
Yes.
Okay, and I noticed that you're very carefully cutting the corners off of this box.
Yes. First, cut the, it comes in a different package, but
Yeah.
on this case, I cut the both end,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna, take this apart.
And in fact, there are even directions on this package to
You can
open
cut
it this
with
way.
the scissor if you like.
Yeah, yeah.
And if this one is hard to come out, so I cut the one other end
Oh, I
to get
see.
the air out.
Yeah,
So,
so it'll come
Yes.
out easily.
So-
Otherwise, it'll hang in there.
yes. So I have a kitchen towel,
Yep.
paper towel.
Yep.
All right. So that's a little bit. You can you can change out later if it's saturated too quickly.
So,
Okay.
so this towel is to absorb
Absorb the liquid.
Okay,
So
okay.
gently put out the tofu.
Yeah,
It hold in the hand.
beautiful.
Okay, and place it on a paper towel.
Okay.
So what I would normally do, now if the tofu is a
gotcha.
larger tofu, I would normally put a chopping board or something, put on top.
Okay, okay.
Now,
yeah.
this is a relatively small tofu, so what I did today is take a pan or Tupperware, whatever you have in your
Yeah,
house container,
yeah.
put a little water, give a weight,
Yeah.
and put it on top of it to make sure cover the surface of a tofu. So it give a weight and weight down, the water will drain down.
And so how long does it take for this to happen?
15 minutes or so.
So this is something you need to do and then move on to something else and come
Right.
back to it.
And you can set
I
that
like your idea
aside
better.
in refrigerator,
Oh, okay.
yes.
Okay. And that's actually a good point to say to put it in the refrigerator because tofu is very high in protein. It's one of the it's a protein food. It goes in the meat group. And any protein food, we have to be concerned about keeping it at the right temperature. Okay, so this is one that you had done
Yes.
before.
I previously prepped it.
Okay, so you drained it, in
Yes.
other words. Okay.
All right,
Okay.
so gently. Now, if it does, sometime taking out a box or either doing this might have a little crack or something, and just don't worry. It's no big deal, but I had to be gently
Yeah.
taking those out.
Yeah.
Make sure. I think I rubbed too much, but
Yeah.
I'll find
you
my
got it,
way.
you got
Okay.
it.
So I have a little crack, but it's okay.
Okay.
And gently.
And this is the firm one that you use.
Yes.
See, I would have expected you to use the extra firm on this. Tell me why you didn't do that.
Personally, I like the texture of a foam.
Of the firm.
Yes.
Okay.
And extra foam is also great. However, it have a little more coarser taste to it.
Okay. So
Texture,
so
too.
this was a personal preference on your part.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, how this you kind of hold in the hand just like this, and you will cut it right into. I have a knife here. Okay. Cut right in the middle.
You're going to do it that way.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
And it will kind of void all the extra, picking up, and so you will kind of
And
slowly.
you're actually just following that seam. There's a
Yes.
seam that the box marked
and
on
then
that.
please be careful, don't cut your hand,
Yeah.
but gently. It's just a little push. So now we have a 2.
Yep,
Okay.
yep.
So
There we go.
okay. So I have a.
So you created a steak right there. Is
Right.
what you just did.
So I have a 2-piece. Okay.
Okay.
It's gonna be a steak part.
Okay. All right.
And I have a flour.
Okay.
Okay. This is a regular flour here. And when I do so, even this is drained already, we want to kind of wipe this extra water. Okay.
Okay.
And
You're going to do both sides.
both
huh?
sides, make
Okay.
sure gently. Okay.
Okay.
And what I'm going to do, okay, dust them. Okay.
It's similar to what we would do in flouring anything.
Yes.
It's just you're just handling it very
Yes.
carefully. Okay.
So you do so and make sure nothing is extra,
Okay.
too many.
So
too much.
just a light dusting is what
Yes.
you're doing. Okay.
Yes. Let's brown this tofu.
Okay.
Okay. All right. I have an olive oil.
Okay.
Okay.
So you're using olive oil with this. Now, traditional Japanese cooking, what oil would you use?
You can use sesame oil would be great.
Yeah.
It gives additional flavor.
All right. And could I find sesame oil at Brookshire's,
Yes.
for example? Okay.
Yes, you can.
All
Okay.
right.
All right, now I'm going to gently pick this up.
Okay.
And extra. That's the extra off. And,
And see, that's a little different than, you know, when we bread things, especially here in the South, we have a very heavy breading on it. I notice you want just a light dusting.
Yes.
Huh?
Especially for this dish.
So you're just looking for something to create a light browning with.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, while we browning this, I'm going to cut the mushroom.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Beautiful
And
mushrooms.
I
What-
have a white mushroom and also baby portobello mushroom today.
Okay.
You can use any mushroom that you like, and you know so we just do slices,
Okay.
simple slices
Yep.
today.
Yep.
Okay, and you can. Japanese people love to eat mushrooms in different dishes and soup.
You know, until I started working with chefs, I never was much on mushrooms, but mushrooms are one of those foods, I guess, like anything else. The more you cook with them, the more you eat them, the more your palate adapts.
Right. So you know.
Adds such a richness to flavors.
Yes.
In sauces, for
Yes,
example.
and while it's browning, I'm gonna check and see. You're gonna have to, of course, you're gonna have to really gently check how it's doing. I think it's take a little bit more. And meantime, would you help me make a sauce for this dish?
Yes.
Okay.
While you're doing that, I just wanted to say a couple of things about
Yes.
soy foods. You know, a lot of studies have given us a lot of proof that soy foods have definite health benefits. For example, soy foods lower our bad cholesterol without lowering the good one. You know, a lot of times when we lower just fat intake, we lower both of them. Well, that
Yes.
doesn't help the ratio of good to bad. But soy foods lower the bad one
Yes.
and don't affect the good one,
Yes.
cholesterol. And then also, soy foods reduce our risk of certain types of cancer like prostate or breast cancer. There's been some study a few years back about, well, do soy foods raise our risk of breast cancer? But actually, there have been studies that have come back and said, no, that's not true. In fact, breast cancer survivors who eat tofu reduce their risk of recurrence by 25%. So there's some definite reasons to find ways to work soy foods into our diet. Okay, so let's make that sauce you were talking about.
All right. This is gonna be our sauce.
Okay.
Okay. First, you wanna
Yep.
hold this?
Okay, I get to hold the whip.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Okay, I have here fresh squeezed orange juice today.
Okay.
1/4 of a cup.
Okay, all right.
And I also.
You want me to stir that?
Yes, go. Not yet. Okay, so
Here, let me have that. I'll
okay.
take this one.
All
Okay.
right, and I have a low sodium soy sauce for also 1/4
Quarter
of a cup.
Okay. And you know, the point about low sodium soy sauce is that even though the label says low sodium, it's still a high sodium
Yes,
food.
that's correct.
So
So
we
you
still you measure that one.
This is, soy sauce. Sometimes, American people might not used to using them, so sometimes use a mistake and
Use too much.
too much of it.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's just the flavor, enhance the flavor. Just
Yeah.
like you use sprinkle salt, we
Yeah.
use just a little bit to add saltness to the
Yes,
food.
yes.
Mhm.
Okay.
And then I have a fresh squeezed lemon juice,
Okay,
and I just need about 2 teaspoons or so.
Just a little there. Okay.
Yes, and
So that's 2 citruses and a salty.
okay, and
What else
I
you got?
have chopped garlic.
Okay, chopped
Now,
garlic.
I love garlic. So, but if you don't like garlic, you can make a small amount, or
Okay.
if you love,
This looks like it needs to
Yes.
be whipped a little bit.
you can start whipping.
Yep. Okay.
And also, I have rice wine.
Okay. So that's the
Rice,
sake.
I'm sorry, rice wine vinegar. Okay.
Rice
This
wine
is
vinegar. Rice
this
wine
is vinegar.
Okay. So that's an acid.
And I have sake here.
Okay. So there's the
Okay,
sake.
this is a rice wine here.
So sake is a rice wine. Now, where would I find that here?
I found it actually in the Brooks Brothers.
So Brookshire's has sake?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Okay.
Most of the thing, everything I have in the recipe here today is able to find locally, and I got it this morning at Brooks Brothers.
Okay, okay, so that was a question I wanted to ask, and I'm glad you brought it up. So in the traditional, you want this one?
Yes.
In the traditional recipe that you're making here, you might not use these same ingredients, is that
right?
true?
For example, oranges, we use things called yuzu. It's a citrus fruit, but we don't find here. So I kind of made an alternative, made an arrangement.
You adapted. You adapted the recipe to use local ingredients.
Yes, so people can enjoy.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Okay. So that means that you all can make this dish, and it's authentic, but it's using similar ingredients.
Yes, I made a different choice, but similar, so people can enjoy here and locally.
Okay. All right.
So I have a red crushed pepper here, and if you don't like spicy, you can omit it, or you can add more, however you like. Okay.
So you've got really, you have a huge assortment of flavors in this sauce. Okay.
And then lastly, I have a sugar.
Okay, so a little bit of sweet.
This is, this is a measure 1.5 teaspoon. Okay.
Okay. All right.
All right.
That's kind of a chef's measure right there. Okay. All right.
All right. So this is gonna be.
Now, are we going to cook this sauce?
Yes, I'm gonna cook this sauce after.
Like when you put it in with the tofu?
We're gonna first. I'm gonna now it's lightly brown. It's a beautiful color.
Yeah.
First, we're gonna cook tofu, and I'm gonna cook mushroom right after that.
Okay.
And then we'll put it together, combine together, and with the sauce. So tofu and mushroom will absorb the flavor.
Absorb the flavor from the sauce.
And while it's browning, I'm gonna take this tofu to the side.
Okay, so you're going to set him aside.
Okay. Gently.
Yes.
Always. Okay.
Now, Kyoko, I have to admit,
yes,
whenever we were preparing this show and you submitted this recipe, and I had to try it at home, because I never want to go into these not knowing anything about what we're doing, and tofu's not something that I'm real familiar with. And so when I prepared this, mine didn't come out like that. It's nowhere near as pretty, but I think it's because well, when I saw lightly dusted with flour, I'm thinking chicken fried steak. I'm thinking a heavier batter, and so that's what I was trying to make, and of course it didn't work.
It's just to keep the surface dry, and it'll give you a nice golden color when it
Okay.
Okay. So now I add a little bit more oil in the same pan. Okay. I'm gonna saute mushrooms. Okay.
I just love it.
Yeah. Sorry. Okay. All right. We're gonna saute mushroom. Okay, mushroom is ready now.
Yeah, they smell wonderful.
Okay, now I'm gonna tofu back into the pan now. Okay. All right.
Okay, good.
Now
You got one mushroom right there. There we go. Okay.
All right. Now I'm gonna add the sauce. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
This is smelling wonderful. This is really smelling good. Okay. And so one of the things from a cooking perspective is about tofu is that it absorbs flavors, just like mushrooms do. And so it's a great food for this kind of dish where it's going to absorb all those wonderful balanced flavors you did. Okay.
And a Daikon radish that we're going to top with is a little spicy, nice flavor, but it's bland, so, this sauce also add to them.
So the Daikon radish is going to absorb this sauce too.
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. Okay.
All right. It looks like this tofu is ready.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so what's our next step?
Okay, I'm going to plate this and I'm going to garnish it. May I have that plate right here?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
You want me to hold it?
No, put it
No,
here.
right here?
Okay, so I am going to, I can go ahead and turn this off, okay?
Yep.
All right.
Here, let me come this way with it. It's a little easier.
All right. And also, this good mushrooms. Okay.
Now you're going to, okay, so you're topping these with all these wonderful
Yes.
mushrooms and this sauce.
Okay.
And then, okay, you want this one right here?
No,
No?
I'm going to add other stuff. So, okay.
Okay.
And I have a daikon radish that I grated earlier.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so I wanted to ask, the word daikon, does that have a translation in Japanese?
Yes, it's a big root.
Okay, so daikon means big root, which
Yes.
is what it is. Okay, well
Yes.
it's a good name for it.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so, and then you're going to put some of this
Okay.
on the,
Right on top. Okay.
okay.
And best thing is, I'm going to use this little sauce.
Yep.
Okay, right over it.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, so it absorbs.
Yes.
So the daikon absorbs the sauce and
Yes.
actually carries the flavor in the dish. Oh,
Okay.
that's beautiful.
Let's make a simple stir fry to
Okay.
accompaniment the tofu steak here.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right.
All right, we have snow peas here. We're in the
Yes.
season right now, and it looks really great at the
Yeah,
store. So
yeah.
I had to grab some of those.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna do very simple stir fry.
Okay.
Okay, just a little bit of olive oil.
Okay. You really just used a very little there.
Yes, and you know, non-stick pan will always help reduce
Yeah.
the intake of oil.
Yeah.
So you know, if you really want to careful, you can use a non-stick pan. Okay,
And, yeah, and no oil.
no oil.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
All right, and I like bring out the flavor of a garlic, so it goes first.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very beginning. So.
And
it'll-
so the longer you cook garlic,
Right.
the stronger it is.
Right.
So that's why you put that in first.
Okay, and then I'll go with the onion.
Well, I smell that garlic. It really
Okay.
smells good. You've got those onions cut very little.
Yes.
And you know, you're using all fresh ingredients here.
Yes.
Everything fresh.
And I have a carrots here. Okay, it's all different color. Give us beautiful looks and also great nutrition. Okay.
Yes, yes. And that's actually part of your tradition, is it
Yes.
not?
Yes, it is.
In other words, one of the things that you notice in Asian food is you see a lot of these stir fries of all fresh stuff. You never
Yes.
see frozen broccoli in there.
Right.
You know, it's fresh.
Our culture, we are not used to eating canned vegetables or frozen vegetable. We always go to store and market daily, get
Yes.
an amount that lasts for a day or two,
Yeah.
and always trying to get a freshest item as possible.
And you know, that's exactly one of the things that we teach over and over on Memorial Cooking Innovations. Is
Yes.
we always teach that the flavor is in the freshness, but of course, it's
Right.
also more nutritious the
Yes.
fresher the food is.
And now I'm going to add a snow pea. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, beautiful.
And snow pea doesn't take that long, and you don't want to overcook them.
Yeah.
You really want to crunch left.
Yes.
So just to give a little.
I would have never thought of using chopsticks to do as a stir fry like this, but they actually work pretty good on that
Yes.
nonstick pan, huh? Yeah, yeah.
I mean, we cook with a chopstick, a lot.
Yeah, I would have never thought of doing that. It's beautiful. Beautiful.
Okay,
color.
so we're gonna touch up with
I was just wondering if there was going to be a little bit of pepper.
a little bit of pepper.
Yeah,
Okay. And just a
just a pinch of
pinch
salt.
of salt.
Pinch of salt,
Okay.
just to bring some flavor
Yes.
out.
And
Okay.
of course, we already got a sauce in the tofu, so
Yeah,
it
so
will.
we don't need too much
Yes,
salt.
we don't need any more flavor.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, and what it is important to enjoy the natural flavor of an ingredient,
Yes.
and that brings out the flavor. And when you use just too many sauces and
Yes.
over salted, and you forget about main fresh ingredient.
You cover up the
Yes.
flavor, the natural
Right.
flavor of those sweet snow peas. for
Exactly.
example.
So
Okay. That's a very good lesson in learning to develop our palate.
yes,
You know, one of the things that I'm always teaching people usually in weight loss is train your palate so that you enjoy low-fat milk, for
Yes.
example. Train your palate away from the in-your-face concentrated sweets that we eat so many of,
exactly.
or drink so many of in sodas, for example.
And Japanese culture is we have a full food season. Spring and summer, fall, and winter.
Okay.
So
so 4 food seasons. Is that
Yes.
what you were saying? Okay, I just want to make sure I understood what you said.
Yes.
Okay.
So, we enjoy the food
This-
each season bring
Yes,
us.
eating seasonally.
Yes. And, in season, it's the best flavor that you can get.
Yes, yes.
So, that is the most important thing to us. Enjoy each season, different type of food, and we get to enjoy
And
as the year goes
yeah,
through.
yeah, and it's something different each season. And do
Right.
you know that that's actually a very popular thing in the States? That kind of thing is coming back to the
Yes.
States. That was part of our original tradition. But as foods became more and more available and more processed, we've lost some of that.
Okay.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Now I'm gonna have to add some
Okay,
rice that I've already
Yeah.
previously cooked.
yeah.
Okay.
You got to have rice
And
with
this is we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
Okay. This is the one of those sticky rice, the short grain rice.
Yes,
Okay, so you see how hard the shape.
yes,
So
yes. It holds
that's
its shape well.
Yes.
Okay,
All
and now
right.
for a garnish.
Now garnishing, I'm gonna garnish.
And I noticed that you don't have the traditional chef's knife there. You're using a more oriental style
This
knife.
is a Japanese knife called usuba,
Say it again.
usuba
Usuba.
or
Usuba.
nakiri.
Or nakiri.
Okay, so we're gonna toast these,
Oh, that is
Okay.
beautiful. That
Okay.
is absolutely
and
beautiful.
it's ready to eat.
Okay.
Okay, now
good.
while back,
Yes.
I show you how to use a chopstick,
Yes, you did.
and I want to see how you've been practicing and how well you do today. And here's a chopstick.
Now, Kyoko, I can't tell you that I've been practicing. Okay, now, there's something about. I know I've heard something I'm not supposed to do with chopsticks. Now, tell me about that.
There's sometimes, Western culture doesn't have a knowledge of how to use a table manner for Asian culture.
Yes.
And let me see.
Yep,
Example,
yep, yep.
if we are finished eating, you want to put it on the side as like this.
Okay.
Now, or we have a chopstick rest. Okay?
Okay, okay.
Now, things that you never want to do is stick it into the food and rest it. For
Okay.
example, like this.
Okay. So you never do that.
Right. This
Very-
is
ahead.
represented in Japanese household. We have like a memorial for the past loved one, grandma,
So our-
grandpa, whatever it might
So our
be.
family members who have passed
Right.
away.
In the
Okay.
house, we have a memorial.
Yes.
And in the morning, we get up.
Yes.
After when we cook breakfast,
Yes.
first thing we do is give a small bowl of food to the memorial.
So it might be a bowl of rice,
Yes.
for example. Okay.
And we will put incense above the rice or food.
So you
as
stick the
so.
incense in the,
Yes.
in the rice.
So this represent for us is memorial.
Yes.
So
So it'd
this
be
is
bad
a
manners.
for the table.
So
Yes.
never do that.
Never do that.
when
So
you're
always
eating.
rest on the side.
I see.
Okay. Let's try it.
Okay. Well, before I relearn how to do these chopsticks, I want to say thank you to Kyoko Nagura for sharing your Japanese heritage and your culture with us, and certainly your culinary skills, because I've learned a lot on this show, and I know our viewers have too. And also, I just want to say thanks to all of our sponsors, and especially to you, our viewers, because, with Chef Kyoko, we are changing the world one bite at a time. Okay, now let's see. Now, show me how that goes again. Memorial Cooking Innovations is made possible through the generous efforts of Brookshire Brothers, a celebration of family and community, CHI St. Luke's Memorial, the Polk Education Center, Sodexo Food Service, and the City of Lufkin, KLTX Channel 15.